guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kiara if you are new here, and today I'm going to be telling you all about how I take notes on my iPad. So I have done one of these videos before, but that was like maybe a year or two ago, and I just thought I would do an updated one. So for a little background, I am a junior at Old Dominion University, and I am a history major with a concentration in teaching preparation. I do plan on being a high school history teacher. I have had my iPad for about 2 years now. I got it my spring semester of freshman year, and it's honestly the best thing that has ever happened to me. But before we carry on, if you are new here, please thumbs up this video and subscribe if you haven't already. It will really help my channel out so much. But yeah, so let's just get right into the video. So this is my iPad right here. I have this like wake sleep case, I think that's what it's called. I got this off of Amazon, and I do have the iPad Pro. I will put all of the information of my iPad on the screen, and I do have the Apple Pencil with it as well. So I will be showing what I'm writing on the screen right here, just because it's so much easier that way than showing it on my iPad. I would just show it on the screen. But yeah, so I take notes on my iPad for majority of my classes. I do not take any like math or science classes, so all of my classes are more note and lecture based than like actually like problem solving. Okay, so I did not know how to get the screen recording on my iPad, so I figured it out. So we are going to start the recording. So I guess I could also just give you a little show of what my iPad looks like. So this is my iPad. I have the basic home screen. My background, I found it on Instagram. I don't really know. But yeah, just basic home screen. And then this is where I have majority of my apps. I don't use my iPad for a lot of things other than school. Like I literally just use it for school. So most of my apps are for school. But as you can see, I just have like games for when I'm bored in class, which is don't recommend. I have help. I don't remember making this, but anyways, it has Quizlet and Khan Academy, which I really don't use that much. And then I have my favorite folder called Procrastination. Has Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, and Pinterest. And then I just have Google Drive, Chrome, GoodNotes, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Blackboard, Instagram, Over, Orange Theory, and Procreate. So I use Over to make my thumbnails, and then I use Procreate to like do the little doodles on my thumbnails, and also put like little doodles into my videos. So that is literally what's on my iPad. But then the app that I use to take my notes is GoodNotes. So this is what it looks like when you first open the app. So I have it sectioned into fall 2019, fall 2020. When I went to GCU, so GCU 18 to 19, I have spring 2020 and summer 2020. So within each of these, I have like notebooks for those classes that I took that semester. So it really helps me stay organized, because then for some reason, if I really do need to go back to that class's notes when I'm in another semester, I know exactly where it is. So right now we are in fall 2020. So right now these are the classes that I'm taking notes in. So I have public speaking, Virginia history, and foundations of assessment and education. So first we're just gonna go into Virginia history, because that one has the most amount of notes so far. So this is what my notes look like. So I just have the notebook, and then what I like to do is I put the caption really big, obviously the topic, whatever we're talking about, and then over in the corner I put what module we're doing and what week it is, or depending on how many modules we have that week, I will put either like week 1, or I'll put like the actual date of the day that I'm taking these notes. These are my notes. Over here I have the highlighted, is there a way to do like a laser pointer or something? Oh, awesome, I never knew that. Okay, so over here I have history versus heritage. So that is the topic for this whole section right here. So what I do is I will highlight it whatever color I'm feeling like, and then within that topic, everything that we talk about, I will write down within the history versus heritage. But then what we're talking about within it, so for instance the next line says history and heritage defined, so whatever that means, I will then go underneath and put a line and put how do we define history. And then if there's more to that specific note that I wrote down, I will go again and write more on that topic. I really hope that makes sense. But as you can see, if you just keep looking down, you see that I do the same thing. So over here where it says Indian societies in Eastern North America, all you see is just a whole bunch of dots. There's like none of those lines or the arrows or anything. That's because each of these dots is its own note. So if I had more to talk about for each note, then I would go on to the next line and put the line and put the arrows if I have more to talk about. And then obviously, you know, if there's anything important, like over here I put a star because that's important. I also highlighted it because that's important. I do use a different color highlighter, obviously, so that I can see exactly what I am writing. So we're just gonna go down to a blank sheet and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I mean when I'm writing my note. Okay, so first I have the topic. So here's the topic, and then like I said, I go in and I will highlight whatever topic that is. And then let's say, you know, we have to talk about the note. So that first line is that exact note that I'm talking about that has to do with that topic. But then I will go down, so let's say I have more to say about that note. I would go down, make a line, and then I have more to say. But then if I have more to say about the more to say, then I will go ahead and make an arrow like that and put another dot, and then I will put more to say about the more to say. Does that make sense? I really hope that makes sense, because I don't know, I feel like it does, because I feel like this is how notes are structured for the most part. Like when you're looking at a professor's PowerPoint, like on the PowerPoint it will say topic at the top of the PowerPoint, and then the professor will have bullet points or dashes or whatever they're using to indicate what, you know, each note is about, like what they're talking about. So that is how it helps me. That's how I write notes. But yeah, so here's just like a look into my notes if you guys really want to see. And I feel like the key, so I don't know if I said this, but I use GoodNotes. I can't remember if I said that, but the key to writing good notes on the iPad is to zoom in really far to be able to write, because it's really hard to write when the screen is like this, because obviously it's so hard to put a letter into those tiny squares. So what I do is I will zoom into the screen and then I write on my iPad this way. I don't know why, but I think it's just because it gives me more room when I'm writing, so I can write all the way across, instead of when it's this way it's hard to write like that because there's not a lot of room. And it also gives me room to like rest my hand, which is really nice, because when you rest your hand it doesn't smudge, it doesn't like draw a line or anything like that. Whereas like, you know, when you write on paper and pen, sometimes when you write you smudge, but luckily it doesn't. And also, if you do have an iPad or are you thinking about getting one to write notes, I highly recommend getting the paper screen protectors. That's what I have on my iPad. You can't, it's like a matte paper screen protector. So as you can see, my screen is very matte, and that really helps with when you're writing, it feels like you're writing on a piece of paper because it's matte and it's not like a screen, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, so those are basically my notes. I'll just give you guys a little overview. You guys can look at some of them. But yeah, so I basically take notes the same for every class that I have. So we can go over here to my teaching class, and we haven't really taken much notes in this class, but here it is again, just a little example. I put stars over here because that's important, stars here because that's important, highlighted because those are definitions. So that's another thing. When I'm writing a definition within my notes, I will obviously highlight the word and then whatever the word means. And then sometimes when I want things to really stand out, I will write it in another color instead of black. And then just to show you guys how far I've come with my notes. So these are my notes from when I took sociology, which was my spring semester of freshman year. So this is literally what my notes used to look like. Because I did not know how to, I didn't know that the more you zoomed in to the screen, the easier it was to write. So my writing is very ugly and it's just, So this is literally like what it looks like. And then obviously you can see here, it got like so much better, but yeah. And I think I used different paper and I realized that I didn't really like that paper. So what I do when I'm writing a new note, so we can go here. Wrong one. So if you go over here to these squares, and you add, it'll tell you which paper you want. The paper that I love to use is this squared paper right here, as you can see, because I just added it. That is my favorite paper to use. It's just white squared paper. But yeah, so that is how I take notes on my iPad in college. I do use my iPad for every class that I can. Some professors, of course, don't want electronics in the classroom, so I will just use, you know, a paper and pen. But then when I come home, I will write the notes onto my iPad, because usually on paper and pen, I just scribble it really, really fast, because for some reason, I'm such a slower writer when it comes to writing on pen and paper, but when it comes to writing on my iPad, it seems like I write faster. I don't really know if it's just in my head or if it's real. But yeah, so that is how I take notes on my iPad. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I don't really know if it was very informative or what, but I hope it helped you guys in some way. But if it did help you, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, tell me how you guys take notes. Let me know if you use an iPad, if you type your notes, or if you write with pen and paper, whatever it is. Also make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. It'll really mean the world to me. You guys can also follow my social media, which will be on this screen, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.